A beautiful day here on the Tokyo Bay. We are in the capital city of the Chiba Prefecture for the third year in a row. It plays host to X Games Chiba here in 2024. The change this year, we're taking things indoors. We're inside the Makuhara Messe Arena as we get set to bring you the BMX Street Final. Welcome everyone, Jimmy Coleman here in the booth, and with me on the journey today, Scotty Kramer. And well, we've got 8 riders in the field out here today that are chasing some X Games hardware, and we have to talk about a couple of our top stories. The first one being Kevin Peraza. He's taken gold in street the last 2 years in a row in Ventura. Can he make it 3 in a row out here today, Scotty?
He absolutely can. Kevin has been on such a run, and it just seems like every time he is on these courses, he is up in his game, and it's just like making sense watching him ride street now. So I'm really excited to see what he comes up with on this course today.
Another one of the favorites to watch is that gentleman right there. That's Boyd Hilder. He came in his first X Games Street appearance last year at this very event, took gold, then he followed it up with a silver medal performance in Ventura back in 2023.
Boyd is such an amazing all-around rider that has so many different kinds of tricks, and he's so good on every obstacle that's going to be on the course. That's another rider where I'm looking at this course and I'm like, wow, what is Boyd going to come up with?
And yet, to sound like a broken record, we talk about Garrett Reynolds chasing history yet again. He's tied right now with Nigel Houston and Sean White for 15 total X Games gold medals overall. So if he's able to get another one here today, he would be in sole possession of that record at 16.
Yeah, and Garrett Reynolds, he is fully capable of doing this. Everybody in BMX sees him as the greatest of all time. He is the most talented BMX rider that I have ever seen. And anytime that he is on a course, we are just watching, just so curious to see what kind of crazy trick combination he's going to make it look easy that's supposed to be impossible.
Do you think when he watches these back after the fact that he's sick of hearing us talk about that record? I feel like we've been talking about this for a couple of years now at multiple events, and he's still chasing that one. And they're still tied at 15. Nigel was in a street best trick last night, and he didn't get a gold, so that thing still holds at 15, but we'll see how this unfolds. But 8 riders in the field here, 3 runs. It's the best run that counts, and we started off here with Germany's Felix Prangenberg. Now, he owns 3 total medals in street. He has 3 silvers. He also owns an X Games gold medal, that one coming from Real BMX back in 2021, and he gets us started.
Yeah, Felix is so talented. Look at that. Oh! So I saw him in practice eyeing that line up, trying to get that fakie and spinning that full 720 around there. He is really, really good at putting fakies into his competition runs, and that's what ended up getting him, the medals like he has in the past. And everybody that knows BMX, like as soon as they see a Felix video pop up, like you couldn't click it fast enough, because what he's been able to accomplish on his bike in the past years has just been unreal. And I want you to keep an eye on his feet. He's always switching his feet from right foot forward to left foot forward. There you go, that was right foot forward, but he went switch peg. So I'm gonna be saying that a lot today because there's so many talented riders, and they're at that point where they are switching their feet, switching their peg sides, and you can't even tell the difference. But here's that fakie, getting that 540 cab into the bank right there. Watch, he's right foot forward there, but look at, he's left foot forward, and he's doing the over pegs to hard 180 out there. So yeah, he's super, super technical.
So the best possible score you can get out here is 100. Felix is going to check in with a 50 to get things started as we move on to our lone rookie in the field. Out of the 8 here today, everyone has some street hardware in the field except for this gentleman right here. This is 18-year-old Joji Mizogaki, so the only rookie and the youngest BMX competitor here in Chiba this year. From Fujisawa, which is about a 2-hour train ride southeast of Chiba.
Oh, look at that. Huge 540 transfer. Nice feeble to crank flip. So Joji's someone, as soon as I saw him on the list, I was so excited to see how he was going to do here. And he's riding as I expected. I figured he was going to bring some serious speed and power around the course. If you think about what he just was able to accomplish at the simple session, getting on the podium there, and he was able to mix it up too, get the big park-style tricks, but also the street stuff. So
kind of approaching this like a park run, and I mean, the speed there, he's gotten a lot done here in the first 2/3 of the time, and he's off the course there with 7 seconds left to go.
Yeah, a little
He's
early.
That's all I needed. I only needed 2/3 of the time. I'm good.
We've officially lost him. There he is. Yeah, but the thing is, though, just like you were saying, he was able to accomplish so much, and this is somebody who, you know, you'd put in a similar category to Kevin Peraza or maybe even Boyd.
I was going to throw Boyd's name in there as well.
Yeah, who has that well-rounded approach, because he doesn't just ride street, he doesn't just ride park, and he is so talented. And I think for his first run ever as an X Games athlete, that was really, really good.
See, everybody else is up there on the deck looking down like, where's it going? The camera guys lost him, so a 61.66 for Joji. So that'll put him in the top spot. So 2 riders down, 6 left to go here in round 1 out of 3 here. BMX Street Final as we bring in Jordan Godwin. He's got 3 prior appearances. He owns a silver in this event from earlier this year in Ventura back in June.
Wow, so he just barely hung on. He was doing that backlash combination, and like I thought his front wheel was gonna run into the edge, but he did survive on it. Now, one thing I want to point out to everybody that's watching is how technical Jordan is on the rails.
Wow.
Oh, and he makes everything look so good. That's crazy. Just thinking that he came off of his pegs, doing a double peg to get that 360 is nuts.
I would also like to point out, if you're looking at the course, those bonsai trees, they are real. And we've been told that those things are over 300 years old. I heard the rumor, and I had to confirm that with the California Skate Parks crew.
That's so crazy to even imagine that. They'd be like, oh yeah, we got some BMX riders that are riding brakeless and backwards. Oh, let's put the 300-year-old trees on the course.
I want to know who sourced that out. Like, what website do you go to find centuries-old trees?
Yeah, where do you keep those things? Are they like dug in the ground? They've been a planter for 300 years? But either way, back to the BMX riding. Here's that huge pop out. Look how high he was able to get out of that rail, and I loved how he was able to drop the nose down as well. Nice crank arm, 180, smooth as you could be.
So a 68.66 for your Ventura Street silver medalist puts him in the top spot. We're approaching the halfway point here of round number 1 out of Suwanee, Georgia. We now turn our attention to Devon Smillie. X Games Chiba this year will be his 12th on-site appearance. He owns 4 total medals in this event, 2 of them silver, 2 of them bronze.
So I was watching him go for that manual line in practice, and I saw him be able to connect it a couple times. I was curious to see where he was going to go with it. We're gonna have to wait to see on that one in the next run. But he is so good at linking trick combinations. That was really cool. Tires up to Suno, hander out. Oh, I love that 180 backwards over switch pegs. Crank to manual, to fakie manual.
Still holding on to that manual line.
Oh, that was so good. Oh, nice, with the fakie truck out.
Just cruising that one, casual and complete control right there, and putting on a clinic for the fans here inside the Makuhari SA Arena.
Yeah, I know it wasn't absolutely perfect, but he had so many huge moments there. Here's the tires up to get that no-hander out.
It's not a very wide rail either, by the way, and you're tire riding up that thing.
Yeah, when you have all that energy from being at the X Games too to be able to pull that off. And that was the one that I was super psyched on, that 180 backwards over switch pegs.
Right there, you get the back wheel right up to the lip, and then just with the fakie manual.
Yeah, it's super clean, just as you'd expect from Devon.
Oh, look at the gap there. That's over a 10-point separation to put him in the top spot with an 80. Getting some accolades from Boyd Hilder, who we'll see later on in the run order here. And there is Garrett Reynolds. And he's probably sick of hearing us talk about it, but we gotta tell the story because he's chasing that record still.
Oh, no.
And there's the announcer jinx.
Yeah,
as soon as I bring it up, he slips off.
I think we'll be quiet on this one for a little bit.
Well, unlike Park, a fall doesn't end the run. Here at Street, you do get to finish out all of the time, but...
And the thing is, Garrett is so good that he can actually get a podium level score with a crash. It's just how talented he is. It looks like, his seat is snapped in half.
Well, speaking of podium, that's another thing that we need to mention. In Ventura, he didn't make the podium back in June, and that's the first time in his entire X Games career that has ever happened.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yes.
Because you also got to remember how many total medals that he actually has, which is...
22 total between street and real BMX.
So just think about that. 22 total.
That's 19 street medals because he only has 3 in real BMX, 2 gold and 1 bronze.
Crazy to think about.
Yeah, all of these, most of these golds, except for 2 of them, have all come in one event. I mean, in BMX, that kind of dominance, like that's Jamie Bestwick-esque dominance there. Because all of it, for the most part, there's a couple of best trick ones in there, but for Jamie, those all came in vert as we turn our attention to Courage Adams.
Oh, and look at that. Beautiful backwards manual to 360. And I love that.
Arson out.
Oh, that was so clean. Everybody in BMX knows Courage Adams for doing these crazy viral nose manual lines where you're like, oh man, that must have took him 100 tries. But then you see him ride in a competition like this and you're like, oh, he's actually just that good. Wow, bar spin.
That manual into that bar spin into the ice pick down that rail.
Crazy.
Come on. And he's still got time left.
Yeah. Oh, he's so good.
He's looking back at the clock.
That's what
Like, I got time for one more.
I've seen that happen in like boxing or like UFC fights. Let me check the clock real quick. See that in BMX is pretty awesome. But
well, he medaled at this event last year. He got a silver medal here, and then we saw him in Ventura back in June where he had to settle for 5th, but take a look at some of the highlights here.
Yeah, and he's one of the only riders that actually rides a cassette. So everybody else rides a free coaster, meaning that when they're riding backwards, they don't have to pedal backwards. But look at him drop this nose manual. And for everybody that happens to be watching that's not a BMX rider, what you were seeing right there is physically impossible for pretty much everyone except for him. Like, it's so rare to see a nose wheelie like that happen in general, but to do it in a competition run at the X Games is just, it's just crazy to think about.
So he's gonna get a 78.33, so that'll put him in just behind Devon Smillie as of right now. There's Boyd Hilder due up next. Now, he came into this last year here at Chiba, his first ever street appearance. Walked out of here with the gold, followed it up with a silver medal in Ventura that year.
So far, so good. He started things off with a switch truck driver. That means he spun opposite 360 and an opposite bar spin, which is very difficult to do. Everybody has their own natural direction that they do stuff, so, and the judges, they know, they can tell. Wow, look at that. He's going for that bar spin to Canadian, wedging his front wheel into that sub box. Nice switch feeble to tail whip there. Love that downside grind as well. So that right there was a switch Smith to switch hard 180. Nice snaggle tooth.
Time for one more. And there's the buzzer, so
Ooh.
after time.
Yeah, so one thing let's bring up real quick for everybody that's watching. We were talking about the time when the buzzer ends. So if they initiate the bunny hop for the last trick and the buzzer goes off after they start initiating the hop, that trick will count, especially if they are locked into a manual or a fakie or a grind and the buzzer goes off. That trick will still count as well. But this was crazy. So he was trying to lock into that Canadian, wedging his front wheel in there, but he wasn't able to keep it straight up and down like he was supposed to. But he did a lot of other things that were really, really good, and I mean, that's got to give him a lot of confidence moving forward with the rest of the contest.
Well, I said this event last year was his first street appearance. We did see him the first time in 2019 in Minneapolis in Park Best Trick. He's got a 72 flat, so last year's Chiba gold medalist finds himself looking at a bronze medal as of right now. So it's Devon Smillie, Courage Adams, and Boyd Hilder, your 1, 2, 3. And the last guy to go here in the run order, he's coming off of back-to-back gold medal performances in this event in Ventura. This is Kevin Peraza.
Oh, Kevin is so talented on his bike, and he does things his own way. Here's that nose to 3 over that hip. Nice tail up down the stairs. He's bringing a lot of speed, too, into his run, which we're used to seeing out of Kevin. Oh, nice pegs to hard 180 into the bank. He still has a lot of time.
I was going to say, there's still, at that point after that last trick, he still had 22 seconds left.
Yeah, but he's had a couple little bobbles here. Things haven't been absolute perfect for him. But that's all good. He's going to keep things going, of course. Nose 180. Oh, fakie whip. Yeah, just, you know, sometimes when something goes wrong, like he did that switch 180 downside tail whip up out of that rail, you know, your momentum just kind of falls flat, so it's really hard to keep going. But yeah, you can see start things off with that speed. Here's that tail whip down that stair set right there.
Yeah, he's another one that's chasing a record out here this weekend as well. So he competed in park. He did medal, but he's got street here, and then he's also got park best trick later on today. So he's got 3 medals from X Games Ventura. If he gets 2 more medals this weekend, that'll put him at 5 on the season. That'll tie Moto X's Rob Adelberg for most medals in one season.
That's crazy. I am so proud that Kevin has put himself into that position.
So he'll get a 65.33, which will put him in that number 5 position now. But keep in mind, it is the best run that counts. So we've completed 1 round of runs, but after the end of round 1, it's 2-time street silver medalist Devon Smillie sitting in the top spot for now. We'll have more when we return to X Games Chiba. On Arizona's Kevin Peraza.
Pegs to 180, switch down with. Perfect.
Your defending gold medalist from last year puts himself in the top spot yet again.
Directly after winning an event, straight to the interview. It's so insane. Your mind's all over the place, and you're super excited. You're on cloud 9, obviously. Flare.
Whoa! Kidding me.
That was great. First gold medal of the weekend, it being gold back-to-back in street is already crazy. So I know it'll give me a lot of motivation, give me a lot of spark to continue that fire. And I said this to myself the first time I won a medal. I said, if I did this once, then I can do it again. And here I am again. It's so unreal. It definitely takes a few days to process, for sure. You know, like, all I can do is pray and do my part. And like I said before, whatever result it is that I get, like, as long as I treat people to a show and do my part, you know, then I'm happy.
There you go, Kevin Peraza, your 2nd gold medal here in BMX Street. And it's crazy to think that started his weekend back in Ventura. That was Friday night. He still had park, and he had park best trick. He walked out of there with 3 medals total for the weekend. He had 2 gold. He had a silver. He's done that 2 years in a row in Ventura now.
Yeah, I'm like almost like expecting it. Like, it feels just like every time he gets on his bike, like I'm expecting him to like just do something just mind-blowing to get him another gold medal. And the truth is, we could see that anytime he gets on his bike. So real curious to see how this next run goes for him.
So it's round 1 in the books. We get ready to start round number 2. 3 runs per rider, best run that counts. We started all over again with Felix Prangenberg.
Oh, nice. I love that fakie to 360 tail whip, which is so crazy to think about doing that in a run.
So
nice.
He had a little bit of a slip up in that first run, which is why you see that 50 that's got him down in 7th as of right now.
Here's trying to link that. Oh, it's beautiful, so clean. Bringing it back over to this nice flat rail. Watch his feet, see he's left foot forward on that one. Left foot forward again, doing a bar spin. But you see he's back to right foot forward now. He mixed it up so much. Like, that's so hard to do for anybody out there that's not a BMX rider. Like, I know it doesn't fully make sense to you, but it would be like Tom Brady throwing a touchdown pass with his left hand. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I like the reference.
But it's the truth. And then you're doing it with, you know, all these crazy trick combinations too at the same time. So, like, I can't even do it justice. It's just that much talent that these guys have.
You know, he winds up on that 540.
Yeah, super cool how it gets like nice and flat there.
So it's gonna be an improvement from that 50 for sure. He's a 3-time winner of the simple session. He had that 2018, 2019, and 2020. And as I mentioned before, he owns 4 X Games medals, 3 silvers of street. He got an 83 that puts him in the top spot. So first rider here in round number 2 goes to the top of the leaderboard. So now it's Felix in the top spot. Devon Smillie slides to silver, and Courage Adams in that bronze position. That's a great way to start off round number 2.
Oh, this could be just like BMX Park. It's gonna get crazier from here, I'm imagining.
Yeah, we saw a lot of lead changes over there last night. This is shaping up to be more of the same. Here we go with Joji Mizugaki.
Yeah, like we said earlier, you know, that was literally his first run at the X Games, and he rode so well. So I'm hoping the nerves might have settled and he could just have fun out there. And things are going so far so good.
Just the boost that he has, and I mean, going back to what we mentioned in that first run, kind of attacking this like a park course run.
Yeah, but he's doing street tricks that are technical as well.
Yeah.
You know? So he does have He does do a lot of park-style tricks in his run, which I love seeing. I like seeing a diverse approach. I don't want to see the same exact kind of riding over. You know, that's what makes BMX BMX. So look at that 540 bar spin. Oh,
it's how fast he's able to put these things together in that run. Remember, in that first run, he had about 7 seconds left on the clock, and he had to bunny hop out of the course and ended up like going back a house there. So he's got 61.66. I would imagine having some time left on the clock is why he's down there in the low 60s.
And just think about how many tricks that he's been able to do in his run so far. I'd be really curious to see what the difference is between his and everybody else's with all this speed that he's bringing. But
so Felix Brangenberg was in 7th. He jumped all the way to the top of things. We'll see if Joji, our lone X Games rookie, can bounce. Well, it's going to improve the score a couple of points, a 64.66. However, the placing's going to stay the same. He'll stay in 7th for now with one more run to go for him. We bring in Jordan Godwin, 2023 Nora Cup Street Rider of the Year. Oh my goodness, he almost hit the railing.
Same thing. I freaked out the same exact way on the first run because I saw it coming, especially with those pegs hanging out like he does. Wow, but look at everything he's been able to do in his run so far. Like he's had such amazing video parts, and like when I got to see him finally ride X Games and be able to get similar style tricks that you would see in his video parts in his actual lines was just nuts. But he makes everything look so good, so effortless, and that's the reason why he was voted as the Rider of the Year for 2023.
Yeah, this is his 3rd appearance in Street. He has a real BMX appearance as well. He got silver in Ventura back in June. He was the first rider to go in Ventura, and he ended up with the highest single run score of that event.
Yeah, everything he was doing pretty much in that whole competition was just perfect. Like, and it was the highest level of riding you could imagine.
And if you're wondering, well, okay, well, if he had the highest single run, how he did not get gold? Well, it was a different format because you had to have it your best individual run, but then we had a best trick session as well, so it was a little bit of a different format in Ventura. So he's going to sit in that number 5 spot here. Devon Smillie, he was sitting in the gold medal spot. He now finds himself 3 points down in a silver.
But
see
he's got to feel good about
back
it,
here.
Because he just think about it. You know, he had a couple things that he missed marks on his first run. So, and here we go. He's connecting with that bar spin to manual line. Oh, nice switch ice.
So smooth.
Opposite peg. Yeah. So, like I said, he has an 80 and he had mess ups in his run. So he's got to feel really good about this. Oh, I love that 180. I love that backward C-crab. You know, some would call that a ground truck, ground chuck. But that also, that technical grind he just did, the one I got super excited about in the first round, he did it again. Here we go. See if we can get this.
The fakie manual, yep.
Of course, he's got it. Fakie into the bank. What's he gonna finish with? Nice fakie switch bar.
So what do you think?
I mean, like,
gonna best that 80?
Yeah, because there was moments that were better than his first run. And I think there were some big moments that were better. There was a couple things that didn't work as perfectly smooth as the first run, so I don't know how the judges are gonna do the trade-off. But yeah, there was some really good moments in there that the argument could be that it should higher up his score. So right here, look at this lean he had. He somehow pulled it over. So yeah, in my heart, I would think it's going up from here. Especially with that first manual, that was huge to be able to connect that line.
What is it going to be? The judges having a conversation about this one. So an 83, your top scorer for right now. Devon with an 80, and it's Courage Adams looking at a bronze medalism now with a 78.33 and 85.66. Devon Smillie answers back, puts himself back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think it's well-deserved. That was a crazy run that he was able to just pull off, so glad that he got that good score.
So that'll bring back up the gentleman on your right side of the screen, Garrett Reynolds, sitting down at the bottom of the pack in 8th position.
So I'm guessing he switched his seat out. You know, that's not a very common part to break, so you don't really bring a seat with you. So I'm assuming that one of the riders traded off with him, but yeah, so far he's bringing a lot of great tricks into it. He's actually switched up the first trick.
Oh!
Oh, that was crazy, Jimmy.
That's to do that going up that rail.
Yeah. Oh, his riding is just so high level. It's,
I mean, you're grinding up a rail.
unbelievable. 180 backwards pegs, and then he did a 360 out of it. But yeah, he didn't land it, but he was so close to getting that.
Well, we know one thing's for certain. That 6 is going away.
Yeah,
he will be
I
an 8
think
with
it's
this all
fair
said
to
and
say.
done. But I mean, again, with the format, 3 runs and the best run that counts, you've seen this guy in this situation time and time again.
Yeah. He is no stranger to showing up when it counts and laying down the insane run. But like I said, there was a lot of huge moments, and from what I'm seeing is if everything works, he can 100% contest for that gold medal today.
That run by Devon Smillie, though, with that 80, and he jumps up almost 6 full points right there to put himself back in that top spot. Courage Adams looking at a bronze right now, who is due up next as we await the score here for Garrett. Then we got Boyd Hilder still to come and Kevin Peraza to take us out of round number 2. So a 68 flat. So that'll bump Garrett up 2 spots. Like I said, the 6 is gone, but I mean, how many times in his X Games career have we seen it come down to that last run? And more often than not, the guy has delivered.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
We take another look here at Courage Adams.
Oh, look at that pop, just keeping that flow going through there, getting that 360 out. So you can see that nose wheelie did not work, but he was able to save it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna reroute this to a manual, and then he went 2 pegs on that rail. So making a positive out of a trick that didn't work out the way he wanted it to. Look at bar spin to manual over the hip of his own, to bar spin to ice pick. Wow, really good.
It's so smooth, so fluid, and just the way that he links these things up.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because, like, as I'm hearing him riding in the background, I can hear his freewheel making noise, and it's just so rare to see street riders have bikes that actually have a cassette making noise like that. And it just goes to show, too, like, of everybody that knows him for doing all these crazy manual lines, you know, he's able to do it with the cassette, which is nuts. And he does so many crazy long backwards manual lines as well. You got 180 backwards crook to 180 out.
So 74.33, not going to be an improvement for him, so he'll stick with that first run score. Looking at a bronze medal as of right now. He's got a silver in this event. Came in this city last year, X Games Chiba 2023. Speaking of X Games Chiba, that's your gold medalist in this event from last year. Boyd Hilder in for run number 2.
Yeah, Boyd is so talented. I mean, he really capitalizes with having unorthodox setups where you're riding things that almost aren't supposed to be ridden. And that just goes to show just how well-rounded of a rider he is. But
you remember last year they had like a building structure. We were calling it the pagoda on the course, and he was wall riding and tail whipping off the roof of that thing.
Exactly, but just seeing a course like this that is, you know, tamed down as more of a traditional, you know, street style plaza setup, like he's a real contender. The guy is just talented on his bike.
You know, and to tell the story of Ventura back in June, I mean, he just missed the podium. He finished 4th in street, and then he also competed in park best trick as well as park there in Ventura a couple months back. And at the end of the run, he gets hung up.
Yeah, his front wheel missed on that feeble right there. He was trying to load up on that feeble to get something out of it. That was a really good run up to that point, though.
Yeah, and he's just on the outside looking in, sitting in 4th place right now with that 72.
What a crazy trick, though, to do that straight on manual down that rail to bar spin. So hard to do.
So he's going to stick with that first run score and stay in 4th. So it's going to come down to that 3rd and final round here for Boyd Hilder. Kevin Peraza, we keep talking about his back-to-back street gold medals. He has a dirt gold. He's got 2 park golds. He's also got park best trick 2 golds. I mean, that's 4 different events at the X Games that he's got gold medals in.
It's absolutely insane. But like I said, this guy is just so talented on his bike. Oh!
Just a little hiccup there early on.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's having these hiccups, and they're sneaking up on him, and it's taking the wind out of his sails for sure.
The same thing kind of happened to him In Park as well, though.
Yeah, it honestly was.
And then it came down to the last run for him.
Yeah, so that trick right there is actually one that he messed up in his first run, so I'm glad he got redemption on that one.
Watch out for the bonsai tree, Kevin.
Whoa, crazy. Nice little nose wheelie locking in. Oh! Yeah, that was 2 toothpick hangover grinds that he had problems with. The one up the rail and that gap to switch hanger right there.
So your Ventura gold medalist going to shake this one off and look to round at number 3 as we take a look back at run 2 for him.
Yeah, so that trick right there was a version of the trick that he ended up messing up. That was a regular hangover grind, toothpick hangover grind, using his regular peg on the right, but he actually switched it up to left when he had his crash.
Ouch is right. So much like Park for him, it's going to come down to that third and final run. We are 2/3 of the way through here in BMX Street Final. That gentleman right there still sitting in the top spot. We'll have the conclusion when we return to Chiba. Welcome back, everyone, inside the Makuhara Messe Arena. Third and final day of competition here, X Games Chiba 2024. We've completed 2 rounds of runs here in the men's BMX Street Final. Third and final run still to come. It is the best run that counts. Devon Smillie at the end of round 1 was in that top spot. Felix Prangenberg answered back in round number 2 to take over the lead. And then in round 2 for Devon, he reclaims that lead, jumping almost 6 full points ahead of his previous run score, Scotty. Yeah,
and he did so many high-level, complicated tricks that most riders could only dream of doing, and he just did them in a run, you know, back to back to back. But everything he does, so smooth, so clean, and yeah, he's got some great momentum going into round number 3.
So Devon sits in that top spot again after 2 rounds. Felix sits in a silver medal position, and it's Courage Adams looking at a bronze as of right now. You don't see Garrett Reynolds in the top of there. You don't see your 2-time defending gold medalist Kevin Peraza in there. Those guys have had some issues here in the first 2 rounds. However, it's still up for grabs with the format. It is the best run that counts. So we are far from through here on the street course. We start things over with Felix Prangenberg. Now, he had jumped up to that top spot with that 83. He's got one more chance to try to answer back here.
Yeah, and he's got the tricks to do it. It's gonna be good right now. All right, he's actually had to cut out one of his tricks right there, but that's okay. He can do something crazy to make up for it. I have full faith in him. Oh, I love that. Cap over the rail backwards. Now keep an eye on his feet. For everybody that's watching, you can see he's right foot forward now, but I can guarantee you he will switch it up. I don't even know how he remembers all the tricks that he's gonna do. Look at, he's left foot forward now. Using the right pegs and doing the 180 out. Back right foot forward again, but doing switch pegs, so extremely complicated riding. So ending
there you go.
Switch Smith. So yeah, it wasn't, you know, what he wanted fully. You know, things went wrong. I said early on when he was bringing that speed for that, you know, full cab or the fakey 360 tail whip that he did. But I love how he did that cab over the rail. And he's just so stylish, and I love the way he approaches these street courses.
So we had that 83 that he posted up in round number 2 that had him in the top spot until Devon Smillie took his second run. As I mentioned a couple of times, he does own 3 silver medals in this event. Also has a real BMX gold. So 4 total X Games medals for him. So he's gonna stick with that 83.
Now the waiting game.
Yeah, when you're the first guy to go, you got 7 others behind you.
Well, it's gonna be a long round 3 for him.
And a lot of them on the outside looking in. Joji Mizogaki down at the bottom of the pack. And just early on the second hit.
Yeah, so much speed. If you'll notice, like a lot of the guys, when they're coming up to these short, smaller rails like that, you can't go that fast because it's just so quick. He brought so much speed into that rail. But he's been doing that all competition so far, so. There's that 540 bar spin. Oh, Oh, it's a half cap whip in. That was so clean. Oh, that was amazing. I'm glad he was able to get that trick because I know he messed that one up. I was curious to see where he was going to go with that one.
I mean, his first 2 runs were pretty solid as well. I mean, for your first time out at the X Games, I mean, no stranger to competition, as you mentioned earlier. Got second at the simple session last month.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but what a cool moment to be able to get that line right there with that 540 bar spin and be able to get that half cap whip out. It was so clean. He popped up so high.
That will bring up Jordan Godwin, sitting 2 spots outside of podium contention as of right now. His best score today and thus far, a 68.66.
Oh, that trick's been stressing us out every time when he's been wrapping around right there, but that time he wasn't able to get around to it. But this is something I was saying earlier. You know, when things don't work out, it really takes away the momentum. You know, and you can see he's just repeatedly having little mess ups right there, so he had to wave it off.
It's a tough break, so calling that one there with about 21 seconds on the clock. So he will stay in 5th.
Yeah, it looked like he got a couple good shinners there potentially, and yeah, it's all your sometimes when your adrenaline's high and it happens, it's one thing, but when you mess up that trick and all your adrenaline drops away, it's not a good feeling. I'll tell you that from experience.
Well, there's a shot of your current leader. That is Devon Smillie, who is due up next. That 85.66 came in round number 2. His first run was an 80. Had him in the medals, had him in the top spot, and then Felix Brangenberg bumped him down to silver. He came back, and he's got 1 more run.
Oh, he's locked into the manual. Oh, if he would have kept that thing alive, that would have been crazy. Yeah. He was all over on that back wheel. Oh, that was really cool. That like bump jump Wally up 180 to backlash across. Nice tires. There's that 180 back seat grab. There's a trick that I absolutely love, that 180 backwards switch pegs. 180 over backwards switch pegs, so complicated. But look at this trick. If he would have landed that 3 times in a row, like,
yeah.
That would have been crazy. But
I mean, I think the first one he did in run 1 was the better of the 2.
Yeah, it's so crazy that he gets to lock those in consistently. But look at that. There's that 180 backlash over that tiny little, very narrow, but another shot of one of my favorite tricks of the competition right there. That 180 backwards over switch pegs to 180 out.
So after that run, we were at the halfway point. So now he gets to play the waiting game and see if that 85.66 is going to be good enough to hold up for a gold here in Chiba in 2024. We're down to our final 4 riders here. And of those 4, only one of them is in the top 3, that being Courage Adams, who rides 3rd to last. So it comes down to this last run here for Mr. Garrett Reynolds.
All right, so I would love to see Garrett be able to land this run because everything was looking so good last time. This 360 transfer over. Nice bar-to-bar, classic Garrett Reynolds stuff right there. That was a switch toothpick hangover grind over that long rail. Oh, he's got it this time.
That one did him in run 2.
Bar to manual down the rail. Oh, this is looking really good, Jimmy.
Gotta hang on for 15 more seconds. It's the
nice
whip,
whip.
Off the rail.
Nice bar spin gap to pegs, switch truck.
Couple of seconds, he's got time for one more. And there's the buzzer.
Wow. Oh, man. This is tough.
Again, on the last run, the guy delivers yet again.
Yeah, I'm going back and forth in my head and like trading moments that like Devon had with Garrett, and it's so hard because they ride the bike so differently from one another. But man, there was such magical moments in both of their runs. Like this is another time where I don't want to be a judge at all. There's that tires up to switch whip. Garrett, he was just able to bring so many big and powerful tricks. And the one that really mattered was that huge that was insane. That 180 grind up the rail to 360. It was ridiculous.
You need better than a 78.33 to get into the medals. Oh, and he takes over the lead, and 86.6.
Wow.
I'm not even going there.
I don't want to do it either.
There's still 3 riders left to go. I'm not even touching the story.
Nope.
We'll wait to the end.
You already know, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to say it.
Oh, Devon just said it all. It's Garrett. So that Courage gets bumped out to 4th. Felix Brangenberg drops down to bronze for now, which Courage is going to get the chance to try to answer back. But wow, Garrett Reynolds was down there in 6th and jumps all the way up into 1st as we turn it over to Courage Adams for his 3rd final attempt.
Oh, and he's got the tricks to do it. And so far, so good. Here's that nose wheelie. He's locked in to pegs to Barsman over. That's crazy. Oh, man, this could be a real problem. Nice gap, Barsman to ice pick. Oh, it's working. He's got 20 seconds left. What's he gonna do?
That manual line, there's the bar spin,
wow.
the ice pick.
This is getting really good, Jimmy. Nice 180, 2 backwards, crook 180 out. He's got 7 seconds left.
Oh, just slips a pedal with right there at the end.
That was, it really comes down to that foot coming off right there, which is crazy to think about.
Oh, that's tough, too, after all of that.
Yeah.
And you were looking at a medal, and then you get bumped to 4th. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's still possible. Like, that was so high level, and it was 1 foot dab, but oh, that was crazy. The energy of that run, it was just, you felt it. You're like, this is going to be something serious. All these lines that he was able to connect, that manual to bar spin, to ice pick grind down that rail.
3 for 3 on those. He made all 3 of those.
He's so talented.
So now it's an 83, better than an 83 to get you into the medals. His best run was a 78.33. Had him in bronze till Garrett Reynolds jumped up from 6th into the top spot. And we only have 2 riders left. You've got Boyd Hilder and Kevin Peraza. And they're both on the outside looking in as well.
They're both gold medals in the past, so.
Yeah. Boyd's came here last year. Ryan Williams.
Yeah, if you didn't know, that was Garrett Reynolds right there.
We'll see you later on today in BMX
Which I'm
Park
super
Mestrick.
excited about.
I'm also really nervous about that one as well.
Me too, of course. But this is what it's about right now. Street final.
They're having a conversation
They
over
are.
there.
It's taking a while.
Oh, we did it!
Wow,
Oh, that is tough. Oh,
there.
we talked about the foot dab, and it still was enough. He was in the high 70s. I mean, that is tough
like
break for Felix Brangenberg, but Courage Adams.
The run was so good that
there's still 2 more guys to go.
Yeah, he would have been at the top if that foot didn't come off.
Oh,
Man,
goodness.
that's crazy.
Boyd Hilder, your 2023 Chiba Street gold medalist, sits in 5th with a 72.
Oh, manual to bar, even cleaner than the last run, too. Nice gap to nose across that rail. Nice nose 360. Doing that hanger, switching his feet, locking in that Canadian right there. Oh, like the foot didn't touch. It wasn't perfect by any means, but the foot didn't touch the ground, which is huge. He was able to find that foot and be able to get that back on the pedal at least. All right, this is the one that went wrong. Feeble hard 180. So that was a good, solid run. Oh, man.
Did we talk about it yet?
No, I honestly, like...
We have to bring it up. I mean, he's in the lead.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
I don't want to...
He's already done his part, right?
Yeah.
He did his run, so...
They showed him. We can't ignore it. I don't want to touch it, but we have to.
We will. We have to do it before this next run. But you can see his crank moved right there, but he was able to find that left foot on that pedal, which was good. So it didn't hit the ground. He was able to recover pretty quick. But like that was awesome riding for Boyd. Like I know that I feel good that Garrett is in a good position right now, still after Boyd's run, but where is this going to be for Boyd? How far can it go up? I do not know.
Yeah, 5th was where it was pre-run with that 72, and you look at the separation between first and second, it's 2 full points, and then second to third is 2 full points. So a 73.66. So he's going to stay in 5th. So we know that Devon Smillie's leaving here with a medal. We know that Garrett Reynolds is leaving here with a medal. Courage Adams put the work in and put himself back into the medals. He's on the bubble because there's one rider left to go.
And he just so happens to be the guy that has done it twice in a row now, Jimmy.
Yeah, the last 2 years in Ventura, he's walked out of there with street gold. It's the 3rd and final run, and the last rider to go here in the entire event, it's Kevin Peraza.
Oh, so far so good. We talked about it. Kevin had a couple of tricks that just didn't go right for him, but he's looking really solid right now. Nice 360 gap in the flat. Pegs, oh, it looked like he had to reroute that one. Ties up the switch whip and lands that one clean to the pedals.
Coming down to 15 seconds here for Peraza.
Hanger 180 down that rail. Oh, so, Jimmy, this is, listen, I think we got to start talking about it right now. I think we have to say it. Can we do it?
The riding's done, so it's over. We can't jinx it anymore by talking about it.
This is a huge moment.
We've been talking about this since 2022 when Garrett tied Shaun White for most X Games gold medals. And then in Ventura, Nigel Houston joined the conversation because he got 2 there. So those 3 have been tied. I mean, Shaun did it back in 2013 when he hit 15, or 15 gold. So that's 11 years ago. And we've been talking about it, and then it comes down to the last run, and he gets 2 full points ahead of Devon Smillie.
I did something. I landed 1 run. I landed 1 run.
But he landed it when it counted.
You only needed 1, Garrett, and this might have. And it did. There you go. He is in sole possession of the record. After talking about it after event after event after event, 16 X Games gold medals.
Oh my goodness, so happy.
Nigel's got another one coming up tonight as well.
This could be, he might have sole possession for a matter of hours.
We might be talking about this again coming
which is nuts.
Next summer.
But we don't have to say it right now for Garrett, and that's all that counts, because Garrett did what Garrett has done over the years. He proved that he is the best rider to ever do it, honestly. He is so talented on a BMX bike, and the fact that, you know, he grew up riding at my parents' skate park, and I got to see him turn into the BMX rider that has changed the sport. It's just been an absolute honor, and I'm so proud of Garrett being from our hometown area, and just so proud that he is in sole possession of the gold record right now.
I mean, just remember when we first had this event and he came in and just fresh out of high school, and the epic battles that we had outside of the Staples Center at LA between him and Van Homen, and then you bring Chad Curley into the mix, and the dominance that he had for so long. I mean, there's only been a very short list of people that have ever beaten him, and then for him to miss the podium back at Ventura for the first time ever, and then come back,
and get
a couple
the gold,
months later and get the gold. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better story. But, I mean, again, you know, you have to talk about the performance out of Devon Smillie out here. I mean, he put down some amazing riding as well, Scotty.
Absolutely. What an epic day of BMX Street, and it's all about Garrett Reynolds, so huge congrats to Garrett.
Well, that's a wrap for us here at BMX Street. Garrett Reynolds sets the bar in sole possession of 16 overall X Games gold medals.